I was going to go for a walk, but the cats are all hanging out with me here, and I actually had kind of a rough and painful day, long day. So here's a picture of Perry. The update for today is this. I had an awful night, which I'm sure is completely understandable considering what went on with my kid yesterday. But I talked to him first thing in the morning, and he said, although he's not real glad about being at the shelter, it's not really that bad. So he got through the night. It didn't really bother him. He was all right. That's Perry purring if you're listening to that. Anyway, of course, I'm still beating myself up like you wouldn't believe. I actually saw my therapist today, who was trying as hard as he could to make me understand that considering I made the best choice. And my son has avoided having an arrest record again. He is out of the house. He's in a safe place. He couldn't be hospitalized because he's not having a crisis. He's got a lot of people now that are helping him. It was the best thing in a crap situation that could have been done. And that, yes, he 100% needed to be out of the house, because if it was continuing to escalate, and it was, then eventually it would have gotten to the point where I would have had to have called for help. And since he's 18, there's law in the state that the police would press charges if the victim didn't. So there's that. And also, he has been massively depressed in the house. That's what I would call it. He's just sleeping all the time and not leaving the house and not doing anything. And really, it's awful to watch. It's been really bad to watch. And he needs to get out. He needs to get out and do stuff and have a life. And that hasn't been happening while he's here. Plus, he's basically taking all his frustration and using it to fuel massive amount of anger at me. And it's keeping him completely contained in a box. My therapist actually said he's amazed that I'm making it to the appointments with everything that's going on. But yeah, that's what I do. I make my appointments. So I did talk to the kid and try to get some things settled for him, etc. And then he called me back and said that he had an appointment to look at an apartment. And so late this afternoon, he did go and he looked at the apartment, and apparently it would be a roommate situation. I didn't quite get the gist of it. It would be like 2 or 3 other people living there. It is a furnished room in an apartment, so then you would have access to the kitchen and bathroom and the living room also. And they liked him, and they basically said it's a go, which is amazing. When he first went into the shelter and I was asking him about it, they said on average the kids that stay there, it's a few months each before they can find a place. But he is industrious to a degree. I mean, my kid. And very, very motivated to get out of there. He absolutely hates it. But, it's the best place for him. It's better than jail. It's better than being on the street. And he can't be in the hospital, and there's no way he can be here. So they have to do a credit check on him, which he has no credit. He's, well, maybe paying the school. Other than that, I don't know. Because he just turned 18. I guess no credit's worse than bad credit. Better than bad credit, whatever. As long as that goes through and he pays his first month rent, he can be there by November 1st. That is a pretty damn fast turnaround. I mean, he's still going to be staying in the shelter, but he's getting by. It's kind of driving him crazy because it's so loud and etc. But that's life. So that seems to be how fast the turnaround is. He's meeting with his case manager tomorrow. I did pick him up after having this appointment with his new roommate. And he was completely happy to see me. I mean, it was a terrible thing, but it turned him completely around, and he's ready to be proud of himself and to make his life better. And I hope he does. He will come out of it very, very good in the end. He'll hate me to a degree forever for doing it this way, but I don't know. He's also standing on his own 2 feet. He's still saying things like, well, Mom, why didn't you drive in to pick me up to, drive in a half an hour to pick me up to take me to this place that's 40 minutes away, and then you can hang out for an hour or two and watch me do my thing, and then drive me back 40 minutes, and then you could go home for half an hour. I was like, what? I don't think so, child. Why don't you think about that one more time? I don't know. So he's going to be all right. The question is, will I be all right? I don't think I'll ever forgive myself for this. Even if he's doing spectacular, I will always second guess. I will always think that I should have made a different decision. That he could have done it. He could have done it. He could have. I mean, he did this. He actually made the phone call before he went to the shelter for this apartment. He's been slowly but surely looking. Do I really think he would have done it if I didn't put so much pressure on him? No. Do I think that there's a good chance he would have blown off the entire thing or screwed it up? I mean, if I had been there in front of him when he, dropped him off, if he had seen me within 10 minutes of having this meeting, he was still hanging up the phone on me today and everything else. I know it would have brought the worst out in him. There was no way that he would have been able to get it together enough to get this apartment. Because, I just bring something out of him. It's my nature. to bring out the worst in people. Really is. Do I think this was for the best? Absolutely not. Do I think the kid is going to land on his feet? Yes, I definitely do. And I always believed in him. It's a big change in a day. You know, my surgery spot is painful again. I'm sure it has to do with stress. I don't know. Another big day, another big change. The avoidance is in me is really glad that I'm not involved in any of these things he's doing. I don't know. I guess that's all there is to say, right?